and you kind of forget about it and focus on the race? Or I mean, do you honestly feel the whole time you're like, I wish I wasn't doing this, I wish the race was over? Or can you mentally forget about it as the race goes on?
No, like today, once I got on the track for the first time, like while I was out on the track, I kind of forgot about it. What the worst part is coming back in and sitting in the car for a few minutes. It gets really hot.
Right.
It can get kind of miserable.
Okay. Right.
Joey, can you talk about finishing second in Toledo and how that's preparing you to come here?
Yesterday's race was, or Sunday's race was a great race. Guys gave me an awesome car, and I think if we'd have qualified a little bit farther up, it would have been a little bit easier day for us. But real happy with the car, real happy with everybody's performance. Really, as far as Toledo comparing to Michigan, there's really, I mean, coming here, I just forget everything I was thinking about at Toledo. It's a whole different racetrack, whole different kind of driving style.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, Rob, where did you start your racing and how have you done here at MIS?
I started my racing in sports cars and road course stuff. Done the 24 Hours of Daytona and a bunch of Grand Am stuff. And I finished 11th here twice. I started 5th here. That was my best. I ran well here. It just always seems like we fought at some kind of tight condition or something that pushed us back at the end. So I'm really looking forward to this year. I think our team's going to put together a car that can compete in the long runs, which is where we lacked in the past, and we're going to focus on that compared to, you know, we'd like to qualify great and be fast out of the gate, but the long runs are what gets you a win here, so we're going to focus on that for sure.
Okay. Jeff?
So Rob, what happens on weekends when you come to MIS? I mean, you got a lot of fans here watching us out. Does that make anything different for you, or what do you?
It definitely makes it a lot of fun. You know, you have a lot of supporters in the crowd, and they announce your name. You hear a big cheer. It's pretty cool. Before and after the race, you get to show people around, and it's just a neat experience to share it with everybody you've been around your whole life, and people that have supported you and put time in for you. And a lot of people from the dealership will be out that is the sponsor of the car. So I really like to have a good showing and give me a little extra motivation to run well. I think it'll help.
Allie, your morning at Michigan.
Well, got one lap in and then our motor expired. So the one lap that we did get in, it was a pretty decent lap. I think it still held 11th when final practice was over for the morning. And my guys are getting the backup motor in now, and hopefully we'll be able to get some laps out here at Michigan. All three of our cars are really good, and I'd like to see what I got up against Mikey. I know he's up there in the second spot right now, so hopefully we can get our Venturi Motorsports Chevrolet closer to the top.
Mikey?
We started off the morning. It's been a year since I've been here, so first few laps just getting situated, comfortable on the track and everything. And we started off fairly decent this morning, I felt like, and really good through 1 and 2, and real tight through 3 and 4. So we're making some adjustments for the afternoon session, and gonna try to fine tune 3 and 4 and get it where we like it for the race.
Right. Yeah.
Right, obviously you guys have cool jobs, and probably most of us here would like to trade places with you. But is there anything, looking back when you were younger, did you ever do like a crappy job, like fast food, or garbage man, or something that and now you look back and you're like, wow, I'm glad that I am where I am? Did you ever have like a regular person's first job, or did you always been racing since you were?
Absolutely. I had a conversation with a guy last week about that, matter of fact.
Oh, yeah.
When I was, I think I was 14, I worked for a construction company and was, I guess, the cleanup guy around the shop and clean up dirt, and got greasy and oily, and every day I didn't know really what color I was or what color clothes I was wearing or anything like that. So, yeah, definitely, and I still work at home when I go home. For my family business, keeps me pretty busy, so a lot of things going behind the scenes for me coming to the races every week. A lot of work, and then fly up here and race, and then fly back home and work. So I definitely work during the week, just more than driving a race car for me week in and week out.
Okay, so what do you do for family business?
Well, family's in the construction company,
okay.
And we in some video poker casino businesses in Louisiana. So between managing them and the construction stuff, it's and racing, I'm pretty full time.
You probably need about 36 hours a day instead of 24.
Yeah, or more like 48.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was pretty much similar. I don't come from a lot of money either, so when I was growing up in high school, we ran late models, and my parents couldn't afford it, so I actually worked 3 jobs. I worked at Rack Room Shoes in the mall, and then Sundays I delivered pizzas, and then throughout the week I was a bookkeeper and chief mechanic at Finish Line Racing School. So between all that and staying in school and high school, it was pretty challenging, but that's what we needed. I mean, my paychecks went straight to my parents, and it paid for my tires and gas for 2 seasons, which was pretty cool to look at. And being able to work those jobs and then see how it affected a budget in racing, it really educated me a lot on how to create a racing budget and stick to a budget, and learn really financially how the sport, changes a person, and how you look at what your daily job is. I mean, that was probably the most challenging thing, was still keeping my grades up and working the 3 jobs just to go racing. And I don't think I'd change it, because it really made me who I am, today. So it was a pretty interesting experience. Then I probably hated it. Out of all that, I hated delivering pizzas. People in their pizza orders, man, they're like, no pepperonis, and you put pepperonis on
And when they
there.
don't tip you.
Yeah, I'm like, man.
That's very cool.
Okay.
For both of you, how do you compare this racetrack to Toledo or some of the smaller tracks?
You don't. Not even similar. I mean, it's a race car. You drive forward, try to get as comfortable as you can, and for each racetrack. But as far as similarities for Toledo and here, it's 2 totally different driving styles. It's no similarities whatsoever.
I think for me, coming here to Michigan, we went to Texas, and now with these new cars and how Venturini sets up their cars, the challenge for me was learning steering input. I was turning the wheel, but I wasn't giving it enough to keep it nice, wide arc going in to keep the speed up in these cars. So I learned a lot about that at Texas. So now that I think I got it down, I can come back and apply it to Michigan. And that's my biggest thing. I don't have the full season, so each and every track I go to, I got to get on the program quick and learn. That way, if an opportunity comes up where there's more money somewhere else, that I know that I've prepared myself to come to these tracks. So for me, it's a lot about learning the driving style to be able to, transfer information over to different tracks.
Okay. Actually, Bryson, and then Mike.
Allie, last year when you came here, you were, wide-eyed, going to conquer the world, all this kind of stuff going on. The last year, I mean, what have you learned in the last year about the business and about your driving?
The last year's been, huge for me. I do remember last year here, a lot of it, the team I was with, was more about the off-track stuff. They really prepared me for almost the female movement in the sport, which was something I wasn't used to. I mean, I was always the one tinkering with the tools, not making sure my hair looked good. So, it was a big learning curve on that part of it, and I learned a lot about the business off the track. So when I came to Venturini Motorsports, they care less about any of this marketing and media stuff. They are racers. So it's almost trying to balance itself out, and now that I got the outside look into it, it's nice to come back for a full circle and be here with the Venturinis where, they're hardcore racers. I mean, they're 100% rather be in the shop than out, doing something that isn't anything marketing-wise. So it's kind of a crazy circle and how it's come together, but I've definitely grown a lot in this sport. And electrifyingcareers.com is my sponsor. I got that when I was 17, so I'm still trying to breed this and grow this and make sure that this is going to be a sponsor that's going to be in the sport for a long time.
You sound like you're more comfortable on this side maybe than you were on last year's side, where you were doing a lot of the off-track stuff.
Yeah, it was really challenging for me. I did a makeover for some things, which I'm like, God, I hate heels. But now it's nice to be back in these cars and giving input and being there. My crew chief Jeff McClure, he's a racer and he's like really into it, so me and him click really well, and it's nice that I can be like, hey, I think we need to try this, and he's like, you know what, I agree with you, we're just going to do it and see how it does. And then I think that right there is the bond that I look for, not trying to find a hairstylist or makeup artist that works with me.
Wrap it up with Mike and bring up our last pair.
Are women getting a fair shake in NASCAR and opportunities to drive, in your opinion?
I think, everybody's around the whole Danica Mania. Obviously, she ran with us here at Daytona. I think it's opened the eyes, but it's opened my eyes to who I want to be inside that race car. And, it still comes back around to I'm going to stay true to who I am, and that is a grassroots racer. I never was brought up with money or an education in anything else but race cars. So, I think now there's going to be a female to break through. If it's me, that'd be awesome. If it's somebody else, that'd be great too. I just think that somebody needs to come in here for the right reasons and really make a footprint. There's been a lot of doors open, but nobody said this is how it's going to be and make a stand for it. I think